So here are our examples. So if you're here, you're in the last video. So you had a video about the expectations for the week. You had a video with the warm-ups. You just had your video with the vocabulary. And now this is your video with examples so that you can do the work. So let's look at this. Find the measure of each angle. So we already know the rules. We know that if it's vertical, if it's directly across from it, it's considered a vertical angle, which means they're going to be equal in measure. And they want me to find the for measure 3. So if I take this and measure 3 is across from angle 2, well, they told me what angle 2 was. So if I know angle 2, I know angle 3. So my answer for this is 54. Easy, right? Keep going. Vertical angles are equal, so measure of angle 2 is the same as measure of angle 3. Substitute 54 for substitute. Well, we don't have to substitute per se, but because we know that measure of angle 3, we are going to assume that's the measure of angle. Because we know the measure of angle 2, we're going to also be able to assume that's the measure of angle 3 because they are vertical angles. Let's find the measure of angle 1. Okay, so I'm going to look again. I know the angle 1 is the same as angle 4, but I don't know the measure of angle 4. That's a problem. But, and this is why it's important in geometry, but guess what? I see a different term in here that we just talked about. And if I go back, this linear pair, they're supplementary angles. Remember I said, if you know how much supplementary is supposed to equal, then you'll be good. So, like I said, the measure of angle 1. So here we go. I am going to, oh, I wish I could highlight that one. Oh, let's use this. I'm gonna make it yellow. So, I got that. And I got that. I just wish I could take this little part off right here, but oh, I can. I was about to say beggars can't be choosers, but in this case, I can be. I know I get excited about the simple things in life. There we go. Thank you. Okay, so I've highlighted the part of the angle you're going to look at. What's in yellow is considered a linear angle. And if I look at 1 and 2, and those two together should add up to 180 degrees. Okay, those two together should add up to 180 degrees. And that's what they're telling us right here. So you should be able to set it up like this. We don't know angle 1. But we do know angle 2, and it's supposed to equal 180. I'm going to subtract 54 from each side, and I'm going to be left with 126. So the measure of angle 1 is 126. Okay? And of course, if I know the measure of angle 1, I know the measure of angle 4 because they're vertical angles and they are equal. So the measure of angle 4 is 126. Okay? So this is all kind of about, can you see? You're going to have to start. It's concrete, so the lines are there, everything's there. So it's just about being able to pick those things out. So that was example 1. Find the measure of each angle. Well, I can look right now. I'm going to do the easiest one. Right there. So angle 4 equals 140. And now I know angle 4 equals 140. I'm going to do the same thing I did for the other angle. I'm going to make it yellow. So remember, if you know one side, and it's a straight line like this, I can figure out the other side. So I should be able to know that angle 2 plus angle, and you would just write the angle symbol, 2 plus 140 equals 180. All right, 2 plus 140, so angle 2 plus 140 degrees equals 180. So then you would solve, you would subtract 140 from each side. This is where that solving equations is coming in at. All that practice we did, that's why we reviewed unit 7. So here we go, these cancel out. I'm just left with angle 2 equals 180 minus 140 is 40. So angle 2 is 40 degrees. Angle 2 equals 40. So if you know angle 2, what other angle do you know? I know angle 3. Angle 3 is 40. All right. Moving on. Maybe. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna clear my drawings. What's the value of x? Now, this time they didn't say what's the value of the angle. They said what's the value of x. So you already know how to figure out how much this term right here is worth. And then this is where you're gonna get your problem. So you know how to figure out how much is this worth. How much is that worth? Well, it's right across from here, and we know that these two are equal. So 3x plus 7 degrees is equal to 43. So we got to solve an equation. Don't let the degrees fool get you all messed up. Don't think, I know in your mind you're like, but why? Why would they do that? That's not the point. We have all these issues and problems in the world, and we don't always know why, but we have to solve them, okay? So here we go. So I know that this is equal to this. Let's set it up. 3x plus 7 equals 43 degrees. Okay. I didn't have anything outside the parentheses. I didn't have a negative sign or anything, so I can bring it right outside. Get rid of those parentheses and just rewrite it like this. All right, let's start solving. So first thing you're gonna do is a two-step equation. I have a plus sign in here. I have a variable. So I have a constant. It's a two-step equation. So we're gonna always add or subtract first since we didn't have to do anything with distributive property. I wanna subtract 7 on each side. Bring down my 3x. These two cancel, so I'm left with 3x equals, what's 43 minus 7? So I can count backwards or I can do it the long way. So if I take 3 away, I'm at 40. If I take 4 more away, I am at 36. How did I do that? I can split 7 up into 3 and 4. I know 3 and 4 together make 7. So I have 43. I took 3 of those away. Now I need to take 4 more away. 36. Am I done? No, because it said what's the value of x? And I know what 3x equals. I need to know what x equals. So when you see a number next to a variable, that's multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. So I have to divide each side by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 1 times x is x. 36 divided by 3, you can do it the long way. How many times does 3 go into 3? It goes in there 1 time. Okay, if you don't know this, this is where you're practicing those multiplication facts would help, because I know the answer to this. I'm doing it the long way, just for you, just for you. 3, 3, 0, bring down to 6. And 3 can go into 6 2 times. So my answer is 12. All right. And they're going to show you it too. There it is again for you. Value of X is 12. All right, let's clear it. What is the value of X? So they asked me again. I'm doing the same thing. I know, before I get into any headaches, I know that these two are equal. Doesn't matter what they are. These two right here are equal. So let's set up a problem. Now this is where it's stepping it up a notch for you, because you're like, oh my gosh, I have variables on both sides. And we didn't go over that. So it's interesting that they gave us a problem like this, but that is okay, because we are going to tackle it head on. We aren't afraid of math. Math does not scare us. I'm going to start with what I know. 5x minus 39 is one side of the equal sign. And on the other side, you should have 2x. Okay? So now, I still need to move from one side to the other. I'm going to move. That's not what I was trying to do, but that's fine. I still have, as Mr. Meeks likes to tell you, I have a side A and a side B. And in this case, this might come in handy of looking at it that way. I want to move all my variables to the same side. So I have a variable on side A and I have a variable on side B. But here's the catch. You don't want to leave a side empty. Very important. You don't want to leave a side empty. So if I don't want to leave a side empty, what are my options? If I don't want to leave a side empty, my only option is to move, because if I move this, it'll be empty on B. So I got to move this 5. So to move it, I have to do the opposite. This is a positive 5x. I know there's a minus sign, but that goes with 39. So this is a positive 5x. The opposite is minus 5x. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Okay, so the 5x is disappearing. I'm left with minus 39 equals, and then 2x minus 5x, well, there's more negatives than positives. So 5 minus 2 is 3. So I'm left with 3x. Okay, and then now I'm at a one-step equation. So I just need to work backwards. So I have negative 39 equals negative 3x. When you see a number next to a variable, that is multiplication. So the opposite is division. So I have to divide each side by 3. So divide each side by 3. And what am I going to be left with? A negative divided by a negative is going to give me a positive. And you should have had 13 equals x. Okay, I'm going to fill in all those lines that I didn't draw, my division sign, things like that. So here's your line going straight down. Okay, my A side, my B side. Here's a line going through to separate that. Separate that, and right here should be division, and right here should be division. Okay, so that's how you do a problem like that. If you don't understand, please send me a message. Please send me a message if you don't understand. Okay, let's see. See, they just told me. So I got it right. Answer was 13. Okay. All right, so on slide 9 of 12, so I think we got like 3 more examples. So 2 adjacent angles have a sum of 120 degrees. one angle is 4 times the size of the other. What are the measures of the two angles? So I got two adjacent angles. I'm gonna draw this out. I am not gonna try to figure this out on my Thursday. I'm not gonna try to leave this a chance, so I'm gonna draw this out. So I need a straight line. And I really don't even need a straight line. What I need is undo. There we go. So I have an angle here. I have an angle here. And then I have an angle coming out of here somewhere. Okay. And the reason I didn't use the straight line is because I'm going to tell you why. Give me one moment. So let's go through here. It's time to mark the text. Two adjacent angles, adjacent means they're next to each other, they have a sum of 120 degrees. So that means when I draw the two angles that are next to each other, they should be bigger than 120. So I knew I didn't need a straight line because that's 180. So I needed a little smaller than a straight line, and then I drew a line somewhere in the middle. So I needed it a little smaller than a straight line, and then I drew a line in the middle because the angles have to be next to each other. One angle is 4 times the size of the other angle. Okay, so I'm gonna say this one is right here. So this is 4x. And so that means this has to be x, okay? So 4 times the size of the other angle, okay? So this is x, and 4 times x is this. But together, these guys measure 120 degrees. Okay? Together they total 120 degrees. What are the measures of the two angles? Okay? So let's set up this problem. So I know together they equal 120 degrees. So 4x plus x equals 120 degrees. Okay? If I can figure out what x is, I can figure out the measure of this angle, of angle x. And then I can figure out what this is because I know it's 4 times x. So let's get to it. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm looking at my problem and I can see that I have like terms. I have 4x and then I got a plus 4x. So I can add those together. 4x plus x is 5x. So now I got 5x equals 120. Now I'm at a one-step equation. When you see a number next to a variable, you know that's multiplication. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So I need to divide each side by 5. Good morning. All right, I divide each side by 5. This side is left with x equals, and 120 divided by 5, you can use your calculator or you can do it the long way. I'm gonna do it in my head. How many times does 5 go into 1? It can't. How many times does 5 go into 12? It goes in there 2 times. And 12 minus 10 is 2. So now how many times can 5 go into 2 and 0 together make the 20? How many times can 5 go into 20 and go in there 4 times? So x equals 24. There we go. I'm gonna put my division sign in right here. And we are all set with that. All right. Okay. So we got 24. Let's see if that's what. So they did something similar, right? So I sketched it before they sketched it. You see mine looks this 2 different ways. So equals 120. Sum of that. So they did the same thing that I did. All right. The last part that I didn't finish was we found out what x was. And then we needed to say what each angle was. So this angle right here was 24. And this angle was 24. And then 4 times 24, this angle was 96. Okay. Remember, if you have questions, please reach out. Okay, so 2 adjacent angles have a sum of 96 degrees. So again, that means I'm about to draw my angles. And remember, just try it out to practice. Use your protractor. So I know that a 90-degree angle looks like if I take my finger and my thumb. Let me show you this. Stop share. I don't really want to show you me right now, but we're going to do it. If I take my finger and my thumb, here we go. Start video. Here we go. Yes, I'm at the beach. Okay, if I take my finger and my thumb, let me get rid of this beach background. Sorry, can't leave the house, so I have been pretending. Here we go. So if I take and I make an L, just like this, okay? This reminds me of my 90-degree angle, okay? 90 degrees. So I was telling you corners last time, so this is 90 degrees, all right? Going back to my screen share. This is for when I am about to draw my angle. So let's draw this angle. So that means if I was to draw a 90-degree angle like this, and I know it said 96, that means that this needs to tilt out just a little bit. So it's not going to be quite a square. Okay? So 2 adjacent angles, and you know if it's adjacent, that means there's an angle on the inside. Okay? So one angle is 3 times the size of the other angle. So again, one angle is going to be 3x. One angle is going to be x. And the other one's going to be 3x. Okay? And why didn't y'all stop me? I'm not marking the text. 2 adjacent angles. Ooh, that was bad. 2 adjacent angles have a sum of 96, and I need to circle the 96. That's important. One angle is 3 times the size of the other angle. That's important. and underline what's the measure of the two angles. Okay, so I know that these two angles together, they're gonna equal 96 degrees. And I'm gonna set up a problem again, just like I did on the last one. 3x plus x equals 96. I got like terms right here. So I got 3x plus x. Those go together. So 3x plus x is 4x. Three x plus x is 4x equals 96. Okay, when I have a number next to a variable, that's multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. So I have to divide each side by, you said 4, you got it. These 4s, 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 1 times x is x equals, and 96 divided by 4, how many times is 4? Going to 9, it goes in there 2 times. 9 minus 2 times 4 is 8, and 9 minus 8 is 1. So now I have a 1, bring down to 6. I have 16. How many times is 4 going to 16? 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 minus 16 is 0, so x equals 24. So now to figure out what this angle right here is, what the 3x angle is, I have to do 3 times 24. 3 times 24, you should have gotten 72. So 3 times 4 is 12, 2, carry the 1, 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 72. There you go. All right. Okay, so 72 and 24. All right, let's see what they say. Let's see if Ms. Robinson is right. Oh, they didn't show us the work this time, so it's good I showed you, right? So 24 and 72. All right, so now again, to be entered in that raffle, communication. Why do you think equation solving is one of the most important mathematical skills at higher levels of mathematics? So if you have an opinion on that, you want to be entered into that raffle for lunch for this Friday, send me a message and let me know what you think. Why do you think that that equation solving is one of the most important mathematical skills at higher levels of mathematics, right? So you're all set now. You have everything you need in order to do the assignment that I assigned you. This is what the assignment looks like. There are 7 problems for you to do, and this is due by Friday. If you have any questions, please let me know. Have a great day.